beside me is an Ego product that I've been very excited to get my hands on. Yes, it's the 15-litre battery-powered Ego sprayer. Let's go and put it together and see what it's all about. Now, if you've watched us before, you'll know that we are big Ego fans, and we have done many a video on different Ego products. Well, to be fair, most of the Ego products are featured on our channel. So if there's other things you're interested in, you'll be able to find them. But today is all about the sprayer, and I've got some broadleaf weed spraying to do. So shortly we'll get suited and booted and actually use this for its very intended needs. Now, we first saw this last year when we went and had a look at the new Ego products that were coming to the market this year. This is the first time I'm actually going to get to use it properly. To be fair, there's very little to set up on it, Already love the stainless steel lance it comes with. Now, it does have interchangeable nozzles and it does have double filtration, so we need to look into that, see what that's all about. And already I can see that the padded harness is definitely going to pay dividend, because when you've got one of these on your back, there's no getting away from it. They are cumbersome and heavy, so the more comfortable it is, the better the experience is going to be. Once I've worked out this spider web of packing, there we go, we're out, we're in. All right, let's just screw everything together and then we'll have a closer look. Screw those two together like that. One thing I've already noticed is it has a trigger lock on it. So if you're doing large areas, you can actually lock your trigger in. Well, that is certainly going to save your fingers. And look at the hose. This isn't just your standard rubber one, this is proper. So that is all screwed together. Now, I opened the battery cover and I found a little parcel inside, which I presumed was going to be a letter to say, James, you are our favourite influencer, love you lots, Ego. But it doesn't. There's actually the other nozzles to fit on the end. So, on this one, you've got interchangeable nozzles to be able to put on the bottom here. Here is a hollow cone nozzle, so you've got adjustable hollow cone. You've then got what I'd call a flat fan. No, sorry, that's a foaming nozzle. That's your flat fan nozzle. And then you've got a watering rose nozzle as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they work, because I'm traditionally used to the interchangeable nozzles that you get as standard, sort of your something like a deflector nozzle, to be able to put in exact ones you want in different spray patterns and everything, especially if you're spraying something like iron sulfate through this, rather than having sort of the manufacturer lead ones. Now, I'm expecting that thread on the end to be standard. So if you want to get an adapter to put on there to fit other nozzles, you can. But I'll find that out and let you know by the end of this video what all of those are like. Right, let's grab a 2.5 amp hour battery off our wall charger. And we are fully charged, because you can get 25 minutes of runtime off the 2.5 amp hour battery. Slot your battery in there. Now, I'm using a 2.5 because it is the lightest, so you want to make this as nice and easy to use as possible, but it will take up to the 12 amp hour, so you could put in the 5s, the 6s, the 7.5s, the 10s and the 12s in there. So whatever battery you got, Ego battery, will work in that machine. So we've got litre increments on this side, and then gallon increments on that side. Right, so before we put some chemical in it, let's put on the rose fitting and go and do some watering. Because I don't think the wife would like it if I end up killing her tomatoes. Right, so to fill it up, as any other knapsack sprayer, take the lid off, but you've also got a filter there, and you've also got another filter in the bottom of the tank, so it's got double filtration in it. Obviously fill it up, leave the filters in, turn your hose on, and pop some water in. And one thing I have just noticed is that the pipe actually comes out of the machine in the middle. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it'll work exactly the same way for both. There's some machines on the market which come out one side and not the other. So if you're the opposite side hand, you haven't got quite so much lead to play with. So I quite like that. And then putting on a knapsack sprayer is always easier if you put it on a wall first, because one thing you want to get right is the adjustment of your straps. You don't want them too long, want them too short. Put them on, make it comfortable, make sure it's right for you, and then you should have a much better experience of spraying. It feels about right. I suppose we better see if it works. So on the dial here, you've got a complete adjustable pressure between 1 and 5 and then off. Now, the nice thing about that is it right at your fingertips. So if you want to increase your spray or reduce it, then it's right there at your fingertips rather than having to either take the machine off or try and reach back around. So let's put it on number, well, let's put straight to number 5, full power. And try and, oh, there we go. We are watering. Right, let's give it a whirl. Lovely. Now wait for the comments to tell me that I shouldn't water tomato leaves. Hey. Right, so let's see what it's like between 1 and 5. Let's go for 1 pressure. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? Not really. Let's go to 2. 2. 3. 4. 5. Flat out. Beautiful job. Lovely. Again, Laurel, you should water from the bottom, not from the top. So something else I thought we'd try before we put some chemical in it was to show you the different spray pans on some concrete so you can see actually what these 3 nozzles do. So as we've got the rows in, we'll do a strip up through with the rows and then we'll do the other 3. All on number 5. Holding about 16 inches away from the ground. So we'll swap that over now. So this is what they call this foaming nozzle. Never use one. There we go. Now for the adjustable hollow cone, now I'll do 2 different strips on this, 1 wide, 1 narrow. Now so that's on wide, and you can see it's a circle, so it's a hollow cone. Now if I undo that one, and spray it through there, that's in the narrow setting for spot spraying. And now for the, what I think is the flat fan. Right, so I've obviously got your rows for watering. Now I think that might have been the foaming nozzle. Again, I haven't quite worked what that one is for yet. Then you've got your hollow cone, which is ideal for spot spraying. And then you've got what I'd call your flat fan, 60 degree for sort of wide blanket spraying. So if you're spraying a whole area, you can walk up and down it, follow your foot marks, and you can see exactly where you've been, and you know how wide your spray pattern is. But as we're going to be spot spraying today, we'll leave the hollow cone on quite a narrow setting. Right, so I'm all set up for spraying some broadleaf weed spray. Don't get excited in the comments, it's not glyphosate. I'll let you do your own homework. So yeah, let's do some broadleaf weed spraying. A bit too pressurised. Let's go to number 1 and see what that does. A bit more, I think. Number 2, let's try number 2. That looks good.
Spot spraying is where you manually pick out the weeds you want to remove from amongst your crops. In this case, I'm targeting nettles, docks and thistles, giving each one a direct dose. This method is different from blanket spraying, where you treat the entire area regardless of what is growing. Now, I did my PA1 and PA6 spraying tickets over 15 years ago and since completed a refresher course, but please don't just solely rely on my advice. Always seek proper guidance before spraying any chemicals. There are different spraying qualifications for different applications and plenty of rules and regulations around where, when and how to spray, especially when it comes to environmental safety and legal compliance. Right, back to the Ego Backpack Sprayer. This model provides a consistent 24 bar of spraying pressure. That level of pressure isn't strictly necessary for spot spraying, but it really comes into its own when you're applying pesticides, fungicides or disinfectants to harder to reach areas, like along the eaves of a house or shed. The added pressure means you can reach higher surfaces safely from the ground level. Other advantages of using a backpack sprayer is the level of control it offers. Because of its size and its wall on your back, you can freely move around the site, making it ideal for awkward or uneven terrain where larger machinery can't reach. This makes it perfect for targeted treatment in orchards, woodlands, fence lines and around buildings or obstacles. Plus, with the right nozzle selection, you can adjust droplet size and spray pattern for different tasks, whether you're looking for fine misting for foliar feeds or coarse jet for spot treatments. Other common uses for knapsack sprayers include applying liquid fertilisers, growth regulators, foliar feeds and even disinfectants in agricultural, horticultural and domestic settings.
So that's a load of broadleaf weed spraying all done, so another job ticked off the list. I've been and triple rinsed my tank, as you should with all chemicals, so that is all sorted and done and I'm happy. Now, a lot of people would say there's nothing wrong with a hand-operated knapsack sprayer with the pump. The trouble is with that, you sort of change your pressure that's coming out of your nozzle all the time, because no matter how hard you try, it's very hard to keep that at the same pressure. With a battery-powered machine, and obviously with this one, you've got the dial on it to be able to control exactly the pressure you want. You know exactly how much chemical you are putting on product. Now, not so much today, where we've been spot spraying, but if you're blanket spraying and you're doing a whole lawn, treating it with either pesticide or herbicide, whatever it might be, you can hold that spray a certain height away from the ground and spray the exact width you want it to do without it deflecting through different pressures. Now, I think that is probably the most important thing to take away from using a battery-powered backpack sprayer. But the Ego, what do I think? Well, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. I think it is a superb tool. The only reason I wouldn't go to a 10 is that it doesn't actually come with the adapter to be able to change those individual nozzles inside of these fittings. Coming from a spraying background, I think that is probably the most important thing. Perhaps they could produce one that does fit those fittings, so you can just screw them in and off you go and everyone's happy. Because if you're used to that with the traditional sprayers, that's probably what the professionals will be looking for. But as a sprayer, if you just want to, if those nozzles suit your needs, then that is fantastic. It is absolutely brilliant. It's very comfortable. It's very, should we say, ergonomic. It fits really nicely. And I think with the different adjustments you can get on those, on the harness, it's going to suit everybody for what they need to do, and it even will fit the big people as well, because now I'm not small, but there's plenty of length left in there for the bigger gardener, shall we say. The tank is great. The filling's great, there's no leaks, there's no problems, the battery slits into the back, everything sits in nice and square. It's not like the battery's one side or the other. They have thought about it and everything is in the right places. The other thing I should probably mention is that double filtration. When you're using something like iron sulfate, that's going to make a big difference, which is mix iron sulfate in warm water, pop it in and then gradually dilute it. But having that double filtration does make a big difference because it's quite a gritty substance. So yeah, I think 9 out of 10 suits this sprayer perfectly. So we're Machinery Nation and we bring you product videos every single week about tools and machinery. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I've linked another video right below us about another brand new Ego product that came out this year that I think you're definitely going to enjoy, which runs on the same battery as this. So let us know what you think of that one as well.